up? It's your girl Haitian doll _Sophia back at again with another YouTube video. 𝒲𝒶𝓉𝒸 𝒂𝓘𝑚𝑛𝑦𝑒, all that. If you are new to my channel, make sure you go ahead and subscribe so you become part of the dollhouse today. Also make sure you turn on those post notifications so you don't miss none of my saucy and fire content. Also follow me on Instagram at Haitian doll _Sophia. My Instagram is always linked down below, and there'll also be a pop-up on the screen. So before we get into today's video, I'm going to give you guys the outfit of the day. Today, no shout out of the day because I pretty much give the same shout outs every time. So sometimes I skip over because it does come kind of repetitive and redundant. So today we're just going to do the outfit of the day before kicking off the video. So I have on this top from Fashion Nova. It's about a couple years old, I want to say, and I got it sometime in high school. It's like a muscle tee crop top, and it has a heart in the middle with a ring of fire. And then I have on these yoga pants that I purchased from eBay. Nothing on my feet at the moment. So this pretty much is the outfit of the day. I also have a video including these sweatpants that I purchased, which I will leave in the card description and on the screen so you guys can go ahead and check it out. But these yoga pants are very affordable, so you guys can go ahead and check it out. I don't know if they're gonna have the exact link for this product because when I try to order again, I didn't find this exact product and I couldn't find it that cheap. But you might turn out to be lucky, so I'm still gonna link the video so you guys can find some alternatives or maybe find the same product. So before we get into this video, make sure, as I said before, like, comment, definitely share so you can share it to anyone in your family, your friends. Definitely subscribe so you become part of the dollhouse today, and turn on those post notifications so you don't miss none of my saucy and fire content. So today we're gonna do an Amazon Prime much watched shows video. I did a similar video with Netflix, HBO Max, and I think Hulu. I'm probably gonna be doing part 2s to some of those networks. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely chime in down below, and also let me know if there's any other shows that are good that I've missed, because I'm also I'm also open to watching other shows as well. But the first show we have on the list is Grimm. So this show is really good. I've known about it for a while, but I just never really got into it until I got my Amazon Prime Video subscription and I actually went on the app and see what it was about. So this show is really good. It's basically about the Grimm brothers' tales, but basically the Grimm that's in the show is a descendant of the Grimm brothers. So he kills the monsters that are part of the Grimm brothers' tales, and then it tells a little bit about his life and how him being a Grimm altered the lives of people around him. So this is a very good show, but I don't recommend if you're like younger to watch this because it might be a little bit scary for the younger audience. But this is a very good show, and the episodes are pretty lengthy, but it's all worth it. The next show I have is The Wilds, and I kind of talked about this show in my last vlog. So basically it's about this woman who's a scientist as researcher, and she has a group of other scientists, researchers, and they're trying to basically put 2 control groups together to study how they will perform in a deserted island environment. But the control group, the people who are a part of the control group, the participants, are basically teenagers that have a troubled lifestyle. So their parents basically signed them up for this thing, or themselves in some case. Some of the teenagers in the experiment sign their own selves up for this thing because she tells them they're gonna get money, a scholarship, or she's gonna give them something in return, and that's how they end up a part of the whole experiment. So basically each of the groups is a group of boy teenagers and a group of girl teenagers. So out of every group someone dies. That's a little spoiler alert I'm gonna give you guys. Someone dies out of every group, or they end up getting hurt, and then basically she regroups with them at the end of the experiment, and it's just like everybody ends up getting to know each other and they figure out why they're there, and then everybody's just like figuring out the whole plane crash thing was not an accident and that their parents signed them up for this. It's really, really, really good. So if you're into things that's like dealing with kind of like dystopian society and stuff that has a lot of teen drama, definitely want to check that show out. But it's a very, very, very good show. I'm currently on the second season with a couple more episodes left, so I highly recommend this show. The next show we have is Harlem. This stars Meagan Good and a bunch of other black actors, and this show is basically showcasing the life of mainly Meagan Good, but along with other black actors in Harlem, New York. So basically, Meagan Good is, I believe she's a lawyer, and she was in a relationship with somebody on the show, and then at the time when they were in the relationship, it got really serious. They ended up breaking up because they got in a really bad fight. So the whole point of the show was showing how she leads up going back with him, and how she was in a relationship with someone, she ends up coming back to him. It was so much crazy stuff. Then it's also another black actor on there who is a lesbian, so it kind of showcase how being a lesbian black woman in a big city like Harlem, New York is like for her. Then there's another plus size woman on the show, and it kind of showcase what that is like for her as well. So this is a very good show. Kind of gives you different viewpoints of things and different viewpoints of black women from different lifestyle backgrounds, things like that. The next show is ~Degrassi Next Generation. So when I first seen this, I was like, I don't think I'm really gonna be interested in a Degrassi Next Generation show. Basically, it's Degrassi, but a newer version of Degrassi. I want to say this was like 2013, 2014 when this came out, but it was very, very, very interesting. So there's like a whole bunch of different stuff going on. So there's this Muslim girl, and she's actually a lesbian, and she's trying to hide, like basically live a double life of her being lesbian and her being Muslim. Then there's this Hispanic girl who's lesbian as well, and she comes to find that out after like basically discovering herself in school. And then there's this white girl, and she's dating one boy, and she's thinking, oh, this is her high school sweetheart and they're gonna be together forever, and it doesn't seem that way. And then she goes through a whole whirlwind of emotions because she has blonde hair and the whole dumb blonde girl aspect thing. So it's just like a whole bunch going on for these high schoolers. But if you're into teen dramas and you're into real life situations going on in shows, you'll definitely like this show. The next show I have is Them, which is kind of not like a show. It's kind of like a it's like a movie, but then it's a show, but it's like a series, but it's based on, I don't know how to describe it, but when I put it, like when I describe it, you guys will kind of understand what I'm saying. So basically in that show, it is about a black family, I believe the 1950s, 1960s. So they were originally in South Carolina or North Carolina, and they migrated to California. So at the time, California was not, that area of California was not black populated. It was mainly white people in that area, but right now it is black populated. It is considered a black city in California. So basically they migrated to California. They purchased this house, and when they purchased this house was haunted. So because the house was haunted, they were getting haunted by all these little white racist people and all these little white ghosts, monsters, whatever the case may be. So when they were getting haunted, a lot of stuff happened. I'm gonna give you guys one spoiler because I've pretty much been giving you guys spoilers on all the shows. Long story short, the black father of the family ends up killing a policeman, and this like transpires into a whole bunch of events of him getting haunted. And then the black mother goes through a whole bunch of stuff because her baby ends up getting killed. Like, it's a whole bunch of stuff going on, but it's a anthology series. So that's what I was trying to think of. It's an anthology series / show. So basically every season is gonna be a different story, but that first season was basically about that black family and what hardships they face migrating to California in the 1950s to 1960s. So that one, I would say that's one of my favorite shows that I watch. It was a little bit scary, I'll give you that, but It's some real life events, and I highly recommend for people of color, especially black people, to watch that show. Then the last show we have is something that I recently been watching, that I'm currently watching, is 𝒊𝑉alley. Been hearing about this show for like, I want to say since 2019 when it came out. I want to say it came out 2019, and I was just like, I don't think that's my type of show, because it has a whole bunch of stripping and stuff, but it is way more than stripping on 𝒊𝑉alley. Like, you got people getting physically abused, you got people, you got the LGBTQ community being showcased, you got drug being showcased, you got people talking about this racist history of Mississippi. Like, it's a whole bunch of stuff that you can learn from this show. Even though it is a fictional town in the show, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can learn from the show about the history of Mississippi. Because I recently learned by watching this show. It was like a show on the 𝒂𝓐 network. That's basically Oprah's channel, the 𝒂𝓐 network, and it was about successful black women that are from Mississippi and working in Mississippi. Basically, people, lawyers, doctors. It was a whole bunch of people, bunch of black women. I'll find what it's called on there, but these women was from Mississippi, and I had recently learned that Mississippi had a Confederate flag, like, as their national flag, something like that. Like, the Confederate flag was still being connected with Mississippi up until, I want to say, like 2019, 2020, which is crazy. And it's like, people don't really think about the state of Mississippi, but it's one of the racist states in America, and I think one of the last states to dissolve slavery. So this has some interesting history. Definitely recommend for black people to watch this, and it's a show that gravitates towards black people in the end. But just the historical part of the show, along with all the other stuff that comes with it, like, it could really go over your head if you're not paying attention. But that's what I like about 𝒊𝑉alley. Like, it's a really good show. So a part I want to touch on, so there was a part in the show that one of the characters, basically, he's the godfather of a younger man that's cheating on his wife, which you guys will find out when you watch the show. So that's besides the point. So he talks a lot about the history of Mississippi, but the man, the godfather of the boy that's cheating on his wife, he was cheating on his wife with a stripper. So him and the stripper were at a diner, and this old man comes up to them. He was like, "Are you guys a couple?" Yada yada yada. She lied. She said they were a couple. Yada yada yada. So he was like, "Oh, have you guys visited the mounds?" And the mounds is basically like some mounds in Mississippi, but it has a whole bunch of historical context to it. So he was saying how in the story it was two brothers, and I think they were Indians, and every day they would live on the mounds, and then they would put a stick in the ground, and every time when they woke up, according to what direction the stick went, that's the way that they went. And then one day the stick was pointing upwards, so they stayed in that area, and then every time a new generation came about, they did the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. So that's basically how that town in Mississippi grew, because that group never migrated, because they kept those same traditions. So that kind of stuck with me, because I am a sucker for history, especially black history. So that was like an interesting part of that. So if you guys are into history and a show that has black drama in it that you could relate to, you definitely want to check out 𝒊𝑉alley, because I was really sleeping on it, because I was like, it was a whole bunch of stripper content, but it's way more than stripper content in that show. So I gave you guys a total of 6 shows. I hope you guys really like these shows. I highly recommend Harlem, even though it was like pretty short for like a first season, but I highly recommend that show just because Megan Good is in it, and I feel like if Megan Good is in it, it's gonna be good. So let me know what you think of these shows down below. Let me know if you ever seen any one of these shows. Let me know if there's any shows that I missed from Amazon Prime that you're like, yeah, you definitely should check this out. If this is like something that I would like, let me know. And I didn't even tell you guys about my hair. So in my vlog, you probably will see that my hair is like this. Then at the end, I did have a puff. Like, it's a whole bunch of stuff going on with my natural hair. But I do have my natural hair in 2 braids right now that I did myself. So that is what we're sporting right now. I don't know why my braids don't want to lay down flat. Like, it's been sticking up for a while, so I'm trying to get them to lay down flat. But nevertheless, that is the end of this Amazon Prime much watch video playlist. Definitely check out these shows because you're gonna love them, and I will have pictures of the shows. If I could link the show, I'll probably link the show. I don't know if that's possible, but I will link the show for you guys to go watch it through Amazon Prime. Without further ado, that is the end of today's video. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at HaitianDoll.Sophia. Definitely subscribe so you become part of the dollhouse today. Turn on those post notifications so you don't miss none of my saucy and fire content. Without further ado, that is the end of today's video. We'll love and we care. Be blessed and no mistress. Not but we won't go. HaitianDoll.Sophia out.